Alright, boys and girls, welcome back to the drive-thru. Special shout-out to my Geometry Accelerated All-Stars. Let's hear it for Maddie and Carissa. Yeah! Doing their thing. Alright, this is your Chapter 4 test review for algebra. Okay? And, one of the things that you have to be ready for is what kind of words are you going to see in the directions. That is the primary spot where students struggle in algebra is they don't, for example, they don't understand the difference between simplifying and solving. Okay, so I want you to pause the video and take a look at these words. And if there's any of them that you're like, I literally don't know what that is, well, follow along with the video because you're going to see them pop back up. But if you don't feel good about the words by the time you're done with this video, then you certainly shouldn't take your test until you do. So you want to come find me and let's talk about those words, okay? Alright, so these two words confuse kids. Are these expressions equivalent? I think you might be able to understand what equivalent means. The same. It's got this root of equal in it somewhere, okay? But what are expressions? Well, our expressions in math are like statements, but they don't have equal signs. So there is no is to this. It's not a sentence. It's just a phrase, if you will. Okay? So are these two things the same thing? Well, they certainly don't look the same. We can't solve them, Carson, because they are not what? They're not equations. But we can simplify them. So we're going to have to distribute, right? So you get 16x minus 40 plus 50. Okay? And now simplify that. 16x plus 10. Okay? Now, let's do this one over here a little bit. What's 4 times 4x? Ooh, this looks like they're going to be the same. And what's 4 times 2.5? Negative 10. Don't be fooled. This one is plus. This one is minus. Not equivalent. Alright. Solve the following equation for n. So we're going to have to solve equations that only contain letters. What would you do first in this one?
Subtract y.
I would agree. Subtract y. Y minus y is 0. So that's why that is gone. So you have 3n over x equals m minus y. What would you do next? Multiply by x. Fraction haters, unite. Okay? So you have 3n equals m minus y all times x. Now, you could distribute that. It would not be wrong. I am going to choose not to distribute it, but there's no right way to do it. There's just two different correct answers. So actually at this point, let me do it two different ways. So you could have, let's just split this up right here. You could have 3n equals m minus y times x. Oh gosh.
But do you need to divide that 3?
Yeah, we're not done yet, Carson. We're just going to do this two different ways from here on out. ViewSonic. So what have I done in the right one that I didn't do in the left one? I distributed, right? What's my last step?
You gotta divide by 3.
Okay, so one answer would be n equals m minus y times x over 3. But another one, another way to write this would be n equals mx minus yx all over 3. These are equivalent. They're the same thing. I would take either one of them. Okay, does that help? All right, now I'm going to scroll back up. We got another one to solve up here for n. And this one, we are going to get an answer. There's only one variable, so we have one answer to this question. Okay, I'm going to distribute first. 6n. A lot of people forget to multiply that 3 times the 1. Equals 5n plus 2. Let's subtract 5n to get them all on the same side. N minus 3 is 2.
Plus 3. We'll get 5, and then 5. Boom.
Now, don't boom it yet. Let's plug it back into the original. What is 2 times 5? What is 10 minus 1? And what is 3 times 9? 27. Very good. So you get 27 over here. What is 5 times 5? What is 25 plus 2? Does 27 equal 27?
Yes.
Damn right it does. So that's how you know you got it right. So if you ever have a question like that at a test, don't move on until you've checked your answer. It's worth the time. Okay? All right, we got 4 different things to do this. The first one says solve for y. So I'm going to distribute. You could have also subtracted 6.
Or you could have divided by 3.
I would not advise to divide by 3. Not be the right first step. It would get too complicated, especially if there weren't all divisible by 3, but they are. But let's move on. Let's clean up the left side, Carson. So what do you get on the left side?
You get 3.
Next step.
Subtract 3.
Oh, shoot. My bad. We're solving it. I thought those were both the same variables. Subtract 3, you said, which is correct. What's 3 minus 3? 0. So you get 3y plus 0 is 6x minus 3. Final step. You agree with that?
Yep.
All right. What's the slope?
2.
The slope is 2.
Y-intercept, -1.
The y-intercept is -1. How did we get that? We put a 0 in for x. How do we find the x-intercept?
You might want to use your nifty calculator.
You could use your nifty calculator and use the table or use the graph. I am going to put in a 0 for y because I don't have a graphing calculator handy right now. Although I am going to show you how to do that. Oh no, it's going to be a fraction. I'm just going to do it by hand. So when you put in a 0 for y, you get a 1/2 for x. That's how you find the x-intercept. You could also do that one on your calculator. This would be a great one to do on your calculator using the table feature, okay, or the solve feature. So y equals 4x minus 1. Let's just do a little t-chart for this one. You put in a 0, you get a -1. You put in a 1, you get a 3. You put in a 2, you get a 7. 0, -1, 1, comma 3, 2, comma, oh, that's not 3. Come on, Carson, help me out. 2, comma 4, 5, 6, 7. On the test, Carson, you're going to use a straight edge because you're going to need one. Because you want to know exactly where they meet. I don't have a straight edge. You saw it. Okay? All right, put in a 0. You get a 6.
Put in a 1, you get 3.
Ooh, I like that. Put in a 2.
You get 0.
There's your X-Intercept. Okay. 0, comma 6. 1, comma 3. 2, comma 0. Where do they meet?
They meet right there.
So what's the solution?
It is 1, comma 3.
That is your answer. That is the only set of points that exists for both equations.
It will never ever touch again.
They will never touch again. All right. Ooh, using substitution. What's up, Chloe? Shout out to Chloe. All right, we can't substitute unless we solve something for a variable. Which of these 4 options is the easiest thing to solve for?
Let's just solve for y.
Y, I agree. Okay? So what does y equal? Well, if 2x plus y equals 100, then what is y? Well, I subtract 2x from both sides, and you get y equals. Now, this equal sign is very powerful. Okay? That means anywhere I have a y in this one, I can take out the y and put in 100 minus 2x. Now, can I solve this purple equation?
No.
Sure I can.
Yes.
Why not?
You need to simplify it.
I need to simplify it, you're right, but am I capable of solving it? Am I capable of solving this equation?
For both variables.
I cannot figure out a single answer to that equation because there's infinitely many answers, where this one only has one answer, because how many variables does it have? 1. So, 8x minus 500 plus 10x. Don't you forget about that negative times a negative, Carson.
Yeah.
Okay? So then you're going to get, add 500. We're going to need, this is going to be a decimal, buddy. That's gone. So you get 18x is 532. Do 532 divided by 18, and you get x equals 29.5 repeating. So look at y is. It's 100 minus 2 times x. So y is 100 minus 2 times 29.5 repeating. Put that in your calculator and hit like 10 fives. Minus 2 times 29.555555555. Close it. Close your brackets. Enter. 40.8 repeating. So the answer, if they want it as an ordered pair, is 29.5 repeating, ViewSonic, comma 40.8 repeating, and now you realize we could not have solved that by graphing. Maybe on a graphing calculator, but not by hand. Okay? Almost done. Sanjay currently has 100 photos in his hard drive. Shout out to Sanjay. It's good to meet him today. He's arrived at Clifton via India, via South Africa. What a story. Love it. All right. He's taking 5 photos every minute, and he already has 100 photos in his hard drive. He can only store photos, 1,000 photos in his hard drive. Well, the equation only involves this stuff. We don't need to worry about the limit yet. So what is the equation? Well, the total amount of photos in his hard drive, let's not confuse you. The total photos is equal to, well, how many photos did he start with? And how many is he taking per minute? Now, could you have had this? Most def. Same thing. We can add things in any order in math. All right. Problem B. Solve the equation to find the number of minutes Sanjay can take photos before his hard drive is full.
Let's plug in that T as 1,000.
If the total is 1,000, first step,
Subtract 150.
subtract 150, and you get 850 is 5M. That's an 850. It's a ViewSonic 850 is what that is. ViewSonic. Divided side by 5. And you get M is 170 minutes. Make sure you answer the question.
Don't put it in hours if it doesn't say.
I agree. Just leave it in minutes. Okay? Last question on the review. 5 less than a number, X, is 10 times more than Y. Time out. I didn't like the way I wrote that question. I was in a rush. Let's read it again, because it's changed amazingly. 5 less than a number X is at least 10 times Y. All right, I'm thinking of a number. Yours is 5 less than it. Okay? My number's 10. What's yours? My number's 20. What's yours? He said 5 and 15. Okay? My number's 30. What's yours?
25.
My number's X. What's yours?
Negative 5.
No, let's do it again. I said 5. You said 0. I said 10. You said 5. I said 20. You said 15. If I say X, what do you do to the X to find your number? You subtract 5 from it. That's it. You know that. So, 5 less than a number X is written like that. Is at least. It's greater than or equal to. Are you at least 10? Are you at least 11? Are you at least 12? Are you at least 13? Are you at least 14? Are you at least 15? No. So you are less than or equal to... No, you are greater than or equal to 14. All right. There we go. So that's part A. Part A! Part B. Solve the equation for X and write your answer in interval notation. Add 5 to both sides. Well, we can't do interval notation on this. We'll have to add a little slide to this. Okay? And I can't graph it on the number line. So this one is actually harder than the one on the test. This will be from the next unit test. But everything else is pretty much similar. Okay? I made it too complex. So, if you got X is greater than 5 for your answer, what would that look like on a number line?
You would have a open dot, and then you'd have the line going that way.
What's the interval notation for that?
5, comma, 0. No, infinity.
Okay. What about this one?
X is infinity.
Huh? No, let's graph it on the number line first.
Okay. It's a closed dot.
Where?
On 10, and going to the left.
Interval notation.
Infinity. 10.
What kind of bracket?
It's
A hard bracket. Can I get a boom?
Boom. Boom. Shazam.
Boom!